What if I told you that the hit show Squid Game isn't just a brutal survival thriller, but a surprising spiritual parable? That's right, underneath all the action and gore is an incredible commentary about karma, morality, humanity, and redemption, even Buddhism. In this video, we're going to reveal all the vital spiritual lessons hidden within Squid Game, and the last one is life-changing. You won't want to miss it. Okay, so we see the first surprising spiritual lesson in Squid Game through the character of Cho Sang-woo. From the outside, he's smart, respectable, and successful. But as the game continues, we see him starting to behave unethically, even using his intellect to trick others. The most heartbreaking example is when he manipulates the kind and trusting Ali during the marble game, stealing his bag of stones in a move that shockingly leads to Ali's brutal death. It's a shockingly calculated and heartless move. And herein lies the lesson. Though Sang-woo survives that round, his path is marked by guilt and moral decay. Eventually, it culminates in his own suicide, a final act of repentance that allows his childhood friend Gi-hun to win the game. His fate mirrors the spiritual concept of karma, the idea that unethical choices will eventually bring about spiritual or literal downfall. You see, while the game appears arbitrary, many deaths feel like poetic justice or moral reckoning. The show is arguing, like the Buddhist and Christian faiths, that how you play or live your life really matters, and that you'll see consequences in this life or the next. The second spiritual lesson in Squid Game is explored as early as episode 2. After the first deadly game, the players are given the choice to leave, and they do. But one by one, they come back. Why? Because outside the game, their lives are just as brutal. No money, no mercy, no hope. Squid Game gives them a choice. Or is it just an illusion? This illusion of choice or free will is exactly what Christianity and Buddhism have been exploring for centuries. Do we really have free will? Or are our lives predetermined by circumstances beyond our control? Christianity argues that humans do have free will, but some Christian teachings also teach predestination, the idea that an individual's life is written by God's hand. Buddhism also shares similar beliefs, that humans have a certain degree of free will, but that it's not absolute. Our choices are still influenced by past actions, like the karma we talked about before with Sang-woo, and present conditions. The very existence of Squid Game and the so-called free will the players are asked to exercise when they're given the choice to leave grapples with this very spiritual conundrum. Next time you watch Squid Game, ask yourself, in this life, are you really choosing your paths? Or is it all a game? Has everything just been predetermined for you by a higher power? Hit like if that just blew your mind. The third surprising spiritual lesson in Squid Game is explored in the characters of Gi-hun and Gi-hun. Gi-hun is a quietly tragic figure who sacrifices herself during the marble game so that Kang Sa-byuk, who has a more urgent reason to survive, can live. Ji-young's act of selflessness transforms her into a redemptive figure, a martyr. It's almost reminiscent of Jesus Christ himself, who sacrificed his own life to save the world, according to Christian beliefs. Similarly, Gi-hun's arc is also one of spiritual redemption. He begins as a self-centered, divorced gambling addict who lives with his elderly mom. He can't afford a gift for his own daughter or pay back loan sharks. In Christian and Buddhist terms, he's spiritually asleep, a man ruled by desire, regret, and delusion, what Buddhism calls moha. He's morally adrift and lost. In the game, we see him start to become more empathetic and show compassion to other players, rather than resorting to brutality. This is the beginning of awakening, in accordance with the Christian and Buddhist faiths. Gi-hun suffers deeply and questions everything, instead of blindly adapting to the cruelty. His moral crossroads comes at the infamous marble game. It's a turning point where he's tricked by Il-nam and sees Sang-woo manipulate and deceive kind and trusting Ali. It is here in this moment when Gi-hun starts to see the truth, that winning at all costs isn't really winning. In the end, and this is a spoiler, so please skip ahead if you haven't finished the show, Gi-hun has a choice: to win and kill Sang-woo, or to stop the game and walk away with nothing. He ultimately makes the choice not to kill, even when revenge seems justified. In a shocking twist, Sang-woo kills himself instead, asking Gi-hun to care for his mother, a moment that crystallizes both men's spiritual arcs. This is Gi-hun's moment of grace, choosing mercy, not victory. It mirrors Christian teachings on forgiveness and Buddhist teachings on compassion over vengeance. But the most important lesson happens at the very end. Gi-hun is about to board a plane to see his daughter and finally reclaim a peaceful life. But then, he turns back and vows to confront the system. Not for money, not for revenge, but because it's the right thing to do. He's now awakened fully. This is his bodhisattva moment in Buddhism, where instead of escaping the cycle of suffering, the awakened soul returns to help others. In Christian terms, it's his redemptive mission to stand up for what's morally right, even when it's scary, even when it costs everything. If there's one lesson you take away from the Squid Game series and from this video, let it be this: stand up for what's right, especially today when it's too easy to turn a blind eye to atrocities. Let's all be more like Gi-hun. There's one more mind-blowing spiritual lesson from Squid Game that we're going to reveal in a second, and this one is the most important one of all. But first, let's quickly recap the first three. 1. Karma. The notion that how you live your life matters and has consequences, in this life or the next. 2. The all-important question. Is the concept of free will a total illusion? Or are we just playing a game that's been predetermined for us, either by a higher power or those who run our society? 3. Like Gi-hun, it is our responsibility not to turn away from atrocities. As human and spiritual beings, we must look out for the oppressed and stand up for what's morally right. It's our duty. Now for the last one. And this one is the most important spiritual takeaway of all. Let's start by taking a good look at the rich, the VIPs. Sure, they appear to live decadent lives, but beneath the surface, they're unhappy, miserable, and spiritually bankrupt. They're empty. In fact, we could argue that the rich who run the game are actually more imprisoned than the players. Il-nam actually created the entire game so that he could simply feel something, anything. Even with all the money in the world, he was still unable to feel the simplest of joy. In the end, the real winner is Gi-hun, and not because he won the prize money, which he doesn't spend anyway, because he knows the truth. He won because he's richer than all of them. He's compassionate and driven by purpose. His eyes are open. He knows what's true. Squid Game shows us that the real poverty isn't being broke. It's being morally empty. The real lesson is this: be like Gi-hun, reawaken your soul, and you will be richer than all of the billionaires combined. It may not seem like it now, but their day is coming. And it's the spiritually rich who will inherit the earth. Okay guys, if you enjoyed this video on the surprising spirituality of Squid Game, you are going to love our other videos. We're taking a deeper look at all your favorite TV shows and movies, and unpacking all their hidden life lessons, so you can be stealthy wise. That is, wise without even trying. Being stealthy wise is the new rich, trust us. Hit the video on screen now. It's a crazy one you won't want to miss. And until next time, thanks so much for watching.